Let me tell you something that might be hard for you to hear. Firefighting leaves you at an increased risk of cancer, heart disease, PTSD, and diabetes, with most first responders dying 15 years earlier than the normal population. But that doesn't need to be you. And if you listen to the 5 steps I lay out in this video, you can reverse those damages and make sure you live a long, healthy life. Step number 1 is understanding that your hierarchy of health is different than somebody else. Somebody who has a normal job can just focus on eating right and exercise and lose weight. But you have a high stress job. So your hierarchy goes stress management, sleep, nutrition, then fitness. If you put fitness above stress management, it might cause more stress. When I was a firefighter, I was also training to be an MMA fighter, and that high level of stress led to me aging much faster than I should have and forced me to retire from the fire department because I developed stage 3 adrenal fatigue and suicidal thoughts. So if you want to live a long, healthy life, the first thing you need to think about is stress management and understand that you're not a normal person, that you are like an athlete, except you're fighting 3 different people for 20 years. You're fighting sleep deprivation, you're fighting traumatic calls, and you're fighting carcinogens. And if you don't do the proactive steps I'm gonna lay out in this video, then you're gonna end up with either cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and most likely mental illness. Now that you understand how important stress management is, let's talk about lowering stress. When it comes to lowering stress, it's a very comprehensive approach. One of the things that 99% of firefighters don't do is take time to be mindful, to do breath work, to lower their cortisol, to give themselves a more balanced nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic. If you're always running calls and working out hard and living like all of us do in a stressed out environment of 24-hour news and social media, you're gonna be in a more sympathetic, dominant state, which is gonna lead to you to have bad sleep. So our goal is to get you out of sympathetic dominance and put you in parasympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight. Parasympathetic is rest and digest. Firefighters are always in fight or flight. Every time the phone rings, every time you got to get up in the middle of the night, even if it's a fire alarm or a bullshit call, you have to get up in a state of fight or flight. Imagine getting up out of bed and going and breaking down a door, putting on your bunker gear and doing that for 2 or 3 hours a couple times a month. It's going to destroy your nervous system. So we want to use breath work. We want to use yoga. We want to use meditation in different ways. One of those ways is 5 to 10 minutes every single day and 1 time a week for 30 to 40 minutes. This is going to improve your parasympathetic dominance and help you sleep, which is number 2 on our list. In order for you to live a long, healthy life, you have to prioritize sleep. You can't prioritize sleep in the firehouse, but you can prioritize sleep outside the firehouse. What does that look like? That means going to bed and getting up at the same time every day. That means getting sunlight first thing in the morning to improve your circadian rhythm. That means cutting off caffeine by 12 o'clock. And that means having a wind down routine that tells your body it's time to go to bed. And that includes taking the right supplements so you give your body the support it needs to sleep through the night. It's not going to be perfect, but the more steps that you take, like sleeping in a blacked out room that's super cold with some white noise, is going to improve your sleep outside the fire department dramatically. Number 3, anti-inflammation nutrition, aka whole food. A whole food is just something that has one ingredient. It's chicken, it's beef, it's broccoli, it's rice. It's something that doesn't come in a box. You find it in the perimeter of the grocery store. Processed foods are things that come in boxes. They have long shelf lives. Get rid of the processed food because they cause inflammation, which leads to disease, and have more whole foods. You can still go out and have a burger or a pizza 1 or 2 times a week, but 90% of the time, make sure you have whole foods. That means you might have to cook and bring it into the station. And I know that most of you guys eat healthy at the station, but this needs to be something you do in and outside of the station. Number 4, fitness. When it comes to fitness, there's many ways to train. There's low intensity, moderate intensity, high intensity, strength training, cardiovascular, CrossFit. You need to have a way to measure your stress levels. I use an Oura ring. Some people use a Whoop strap. Most of my clients like the Whoop strap because it's cheap. I don't know why you firefighters are so cheap. You guys make good money. But either way, you're going to measure your HRV, which is your heart rate variability. You're going to measure your sleep and you're going to measure your stress levels. These wearables will tell you how stressed out you are. If you have a low score, don't train hard that day. Train easy. Instead of working out, why don't you work in? This way you can improve your body's parasympathetic nervous system and you can improve your health at the same time. Now, if you got good sleep for like a week or you're on vacation and your scores are off the charts, that's when you go hard. That's when you do things like CrossFit or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or MMA. But if you do MMA or CrossFit or Jiu-Jitsu or hard running, when you're stressed out, you're going to make yourself more stressed out and you're going to accelerate this process of getting disease. Now, the fifth and most important thing, in my opinion, is assessing yourself. Getting your blood work done, getting a test that measures your saliva, which checks your cortisol throughout the day, which will tell you how healthy your sex hormones are. It's called the Dutch test. And by combining those two tests together, you're going to have a clear snapshot on what your health is at this moment. Knowing what your health is going to allow you to make the right behavior decisions in order to improve your health, which is going to help you avoid disease and live a long time. So to recap, number 1, lower stress. Number 2, improve sleep. Number 3, eat right. Number 4, exercise smart. And number 5, assess yourself. If you do these 5 things, you're going to put yourself in a much better position to avoid disease and live a long, healthy life. Now, if you need more help than this video has to offer, I created a full Skool community where I go over each of these things in depth for free. So all you got to do is click the link in the description. It'll take you to our wellness community where we work with firefighters just like you to make sure that we keep you healthy and you live a long, healthy life and enjoy that retirement. See you on the next video.